Hey everyone, it's Mrs. C. I am going to go over lesson 4 problem set. So when I looked at the 2 pages, it looks like this is concentrating on subtraction. So you're finding the difference between two numbers. So in number 1, it asks you to solve using the arrow way. Now you should be very familiar with the arrow way by now. So let's look at A. And remember the strategies that you used when you were doing addition. This is the same thing, but it's subtraction. Okay, let me get my pen. 570 minus 200. Now I'm going to start with my 570, and I'm going to work in pieces, in parts. So I'm going to take apart 200. I'm going to subtract 100. 570 minus 100 is 470. Because the ones and the tens does not change because we're only taking away 100. Now I'm going to take away my other 100. 470 minus 100 is 370. So here's your answer for the first part of A. Now let's look at the next part of A. 570 minus 270. 570 is the same number we were subtracting right above it. So I'm thinking we could just take away 70 from 370 because we had 200 and now we're taking away 270. And that's only 70 more than 200. So let's do that. Instead of rewriting the whole entire problem, I'm just going to take away the extra 70 from 270. So take the answer from the first part of A, and we're just subtracting 70, and the difference is 300. Because 70 minus 70 is 0. So we're left with 300. Now let's look at the next part of A. 570 minus 290. That number is only 20 more than 270. Now I know this because when I skip count from 70 to 90 by tens, I have 70, 80, 90. That's 20. Let's just subtract 20 from 300. That way you don't have to rewrite the whole entire problem. So 300 minus 20, I am going to actually work in parts because it's just easier. 300 minus 10. So you're skip counting backwards by 10. So 300 minus 10 would be 290. Remember, you're skip counting backwards by 10. And let's take away our next 10. 290 minus 10 is 280. So there's your third answer. Okay, we have 370. Oops, darn stylus. 300 and 280. That is how you are going to do all of these problems. If you look at B, C, and D, there's same format. The first number does not change in your equation, in your problem. It's only the second number that changes. Okay, let's look at the second page of Lesson 4 problem set. Number 2 says solve using the arrow way or mental math. Use scrap paper if needed. Now we just did the arrow way on the previous page, so I'm not going to go over that again. But let's look at problem set A using mental math. So I have 530 minus 400. Now in my head, I'm going to break this up to make it easier to solve using my mental math strategies. So first I'm going to break apart the hundreds. So I'm going to take 500 and put that 30 aside in my head. 500 minus 400 is 100 because 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay? Okay. But I still have my tens to subtract, right? Now in my head, I'm going to take away my 3 tens. But taking 30 away from 100, that would be kind of hard for me. So I'm going to break those tens up, and I'm going to be skip counting backwards by tens. So I have 3 tens. Let's do the first one. 100 minus 10 equals 90. Minus 10 equals 80. Minus 10 equals 70. So there's my 3 tens. My answer is 70. Okay? Boy, I just cannot get this. There we go. Now, look at the next part. 530 minus 430. So for this one, I am just going to start from the beginning and show you mental math strategy. 530 minus 430. Now, in my head, here's how I would do it. What do you notice that's the same in these two numbers? 530, 430. The number that's the same is this right here, right? So I'm going to subtract those numbers from each other first. These are 30, 3 tens, 30, 3 tens. 30 minus 30 is 0. So I can eliminate those two numbers. So now I have my hundreds left. So I have 500 minus 400. And that equals 100. And that's your answer. Okay, that was an easy way to do it. Okay, let's look at the last one. 530 minus 460. This one, I am going to break up my number mentally in my head. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at my tens. So here I have 30 and here I have 60. Can I take 60 away from 30? No, I cannot. So I'm going to break up the 60 into tens. So I have 3 tens here and I have 6 tens here. So I'm going to take 30, I'm going to minus 10 equals 20. Minus 10 equals 10. And then 10 minus 10 equals 0. Also, I'm going to stop there. So I had 1, 2, 3 tens, so 30. So I still have 3 more tens left. So now my number is 500, whoops, 500 minus 430. Now I'm going to break apart my 100s. So 500 minus 400 equals 100. But look, I still have 3 tens left, so let's get rid of those. 100 minus 30. Well, I already know what that is from my first problem, right? 70. Now you could break apart those tens as well in your head. That is the mental math way. Now for this problem right here, maybe doing it the mental math way is a little bit too difficult and you want to do it the arrow way. That's fine. It's your choice. I would try to practice mental math though as much as you can. Let's look at number 3. So the first one says 88 tens minus 20 tens. Now remember, using your place value. If you have 88 tens, what would that be? What would that number be? Here you're multiplying 88 times 10. When you're making 88 tens, you're just adding a 0 at the end of the number. So your number would be 880. Because you're multiplying 88 by itself 10 times. When you multiply anything by 10, you always add a 0 at the end of it. So 880 is 88 tens. And now looking at 20 tens, what would that be? $20 tens is 20 times 10, which equals 200, because you just add a 0 at the end of the 20. So you're multiplying 20 by itself 10 times. Hopefully that helps you with the rest of them. And then you're taking your number and you're subtracting it.